Hello, this is That Talking Podcast, TM. I love doing that. I'm JJ. You want to start over?
No. I'm Downtown Andy.
I'm JJ Starr.
And you already said that. And I love my wife. I do. I really do.
Yeah.
I sure do.
Well, welcome. We're here to talk and bring some civil discourse to an otherwise discordant world. This is it.
The end of season 1,
This is
the end of an era.
This is the grand final.
The Grand Festival.
This is it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a year.
It's been a full
year.
Yeah.
Full of all the talks.
Ups and downs and twirling arounds.
Did we twirl around?
I mean, we spent a lot of time in bed.
We did.
Yeah.
But in all fairness, a lot of that time in bed was spent doing this podcast.
I mean, well, that's what I meant. I mean, do you think anybody else records their podcasts in bed?
I'm sure at some point people recorded in bed. It's the soft room.
Did you ever think about that? We may be the only podcast out there that records in bed.
Well, I would challenge that, but that would be fun.
That'd be amazing.
It would be fun to know that we did we're the only podcast. We're the number one podcast done from bed. Number one podcast in bed. Listen in bed. We recorded it in bed. It's only right. Anyway,
I don't listen to any podcasts in bed. Do you? Do you?
I have listened to podcasts in bed.
That's never going to get old.
No, it's not.
You know what else is never going to get old?
What?
3 simple rules.
We have the rules.
For dating my teenage wife. Never mind.
Whoa.
I never watched that show. Did you ever watch that show?
Dating my teenage wife? No, I never caught that one. What the fuck are you talking about?
That show that John Ritter was on before he died. It was like something rules about dating my daughter.
Oh, like 8 simple rules or whatever that was?
Something like
that.
No,
I never did. No.
I
saw Three's Company.
Yeah, same. So this was Kaylee Cuoco, like pre
right.
Big Bang Theory.
It wasn't pre-Big Bang Theory.
It was pre-Big Bang
Was
Theory.
it?
Of course it was.
Oh, shit. Well, yeah, I guess that makes sense. But no, I never saw it. But I know the rules.
Do you want to give them?
We have 3 rules here at That Talking Podcast. No judgment, nothing personal, and don't be a dick.
And we are going to break all of them today.
Probably, yeah. I have no doubt that we're gonna be a little bit of an asshole on this one. Because we were just gonna do
and not tell them.
Yeah, we were just gonna do an episode. And then you came up with an idea at the last minute, at the 11th hour, you came up with an idea, and it already got heated.
Say hello to our executive producer.
Hi, baby. Ooh.
That was me, not her.
But yeah, no, you came, like, this conversation has already been heated.
Right.
We had to put a pin in it just because
this
we're
was
like,
5 minutes
we have
ago.
to fucking record this.
Yeah.
Because if we keep talking about the subject matter, we're going to have the entire conversation and we're not going to get any of it on tape.
Well, let's not waste any more time and get right into it.
Do it.
So, Val Kilmer passed away, last week? Week before?
Yeah.
Awful.
Terrible.
Absolutely awful.
So sad.
Great actor. Great talent.
Such a bummer. It really is.
Now,
I mean, you're talking, 50 years of... Close to 50 years of movies?
I think somebody said he was in like 70 movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, I mean...
And we went on a spree. We went on a Val Kilmer movie spree.
We did.
And we watched a bunch
we've
of them.
We've seen Batman a whole bunch of times.
Yeah.
Because you and I concur, just like Indiana Jones, you and I concur that Batman Forever is, of the Schumacher-Burton movies, the best.
It is, in fact, yes.
I know plenty of people who will fight that tooth and nail.
I know, and I know that people think that it was probably one of the most ridiculous, but it is my favorite.
I can see why.
I don't care why.
But see, that came out during our formative years.
Yes.
So, like, during times where I'm glued to the television after school every day and I'm seeing nothing but commercials and ads for this movie.
Yeah.
And learning for the first time who that cast is, like hearing the names. Uma Thurman. Or not Uma Thurman, she was the other one. Jim Carrey, Tommy Lee Jones, Chris O'Donnell.
This was also peak Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
also.
it was.
Yeah, and it was, like, I think between Batman Forever and The Truman Show, and The Cable Guy even, you're looking at, but the Cable Guy was sort of like borderline. You're looking at a whole new side of Jim Carrey.
He's like, he and Adam Sandler are like quintessential 90s. Like the
Yes.
90s was their time
Yeah.
for movies because they, honestly, I don't think either one of them put out a bad movie in that time frame.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
But this is not about that. So we went on the Val Kilmer
our
binge
Val Kilmer binge.
because I love The Doors.
Yep.
I had to watch that. You love Willow. You showed
Yep.
me that.
And Tombstone.
Tombstone.
Yep.
I'll be a Huckleberry. Wow.
That's my favorite. That was one of those ones because after Batman Forever came out, I was like, I would see commercials for it all the time.
Wait, did
like
Tombstone come out after Batman? I don't think.
No.
Yeah.
But I would see commercials for it, like playing on like TBS and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, I have to see this fucking movie because now, 12-year-old me is obsessed with Val Kilmer.
That was a contemporary Western that I don't think people expected to be good, but actually really was.
I don't see why people shouldn't have expected it to be good. I thought it was great.
Well, because contemporary Westerns, I guess, aren't, like people who love Westerns love like the original Western movies.
But that was a fucking star-studded cast.
It was.
I mean, you're talking just as the Earp Boys.
Yeah.
You've got
Sam Elliott.
You've got Sam Elliott, you've got Kurt Russell, and you got Bill Paxton. And then you throw a little Val Kilmer in there as Doc Holliday, and that was sensational.
Why, Johnny Ringo.
Yeah, you've been doing that quite a bit. You've been doing that a lot. But we're not here to talk about Val Kilmer. We're not here to talk about Val Kilmer.
We are not. But anyway, we were going on our binge, and I was not about to ask you to sit through Batman Forever and Batman and Robin with me.
Which I've done before.
Not Batman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Because again, formative years, grew up with those. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the genesis for this topic comes from the fact that at that point, okay, for me at least, like I said, I'm watching television all the time. I'm seeing commercials and ads, lunch boxes, McDonald's toys, things like that. Like
yada yada.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, obviously, yes.
Okay. Then the Dark Knight series comes out.
When you're older.
I was in high school.
Yeah.
Okay. And
as opposed to elementary school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a big difference.
It starts a trend though. Okay. Because I distinctly remember when Batman Begins and The Dark Knight came out. And all of my friends, particularly older ones, were like, this is great. This is a darker, grittier Batman.
Did they explain why?
I mean, I don't really recall.
Okay, because I was older, obviously.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I was older for the whole thing. When I was a kid, I was an avid fan of Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
As was
I loved Batman comic book. I just collected. I didn't even read most of them, but I collected them. And
you're going to get torpedoed in the comments for that.
I was a child, so fuck off. But as I got older and I was introduced to, Batman Year One, The Dark Knight, I was introduced to
Death in the Family.
Yeah, like all of these different Batmans, okay? And people don't seem to want to remember that The Dark Knight is a totally different story arc. It's different.
Right. So what you're saying is it's not as akin to the animated series or the 60s television show.
Exactly.
Or certain other mediums than we would think.
Yes. And that's why when people were saying, oh, it's so good, it's great. I'm like, well, duh. I'm like, of course it's grittier. It's a different Batman.
Now, this was part of my argument earlier, is the fact that while you are right, I remember hearing Stan Lee say in an interview a long time ago that throughout different decades, it's not even just with Spider-Man, okay? He said that different artists and writers will take their own and make their own spin on whatever they happen to be working on. So that way it stays fresh, it doesn't get stale, and plus, you throw a fresh set of minds on anything, they're bound to come up with something that the originators or the previous, artists and writers didn't think of.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's how you wind up with different iterations throughout the years of all these monumental characters.
Yes.
But where I was going with this whole thing, and it didn't hit me really until yesterday when I binge watched the two movies in sequence.
Yeah.
Okay. Because again, grew up with the Burton Schumacher movies. okay, and was very reluctant to accept the Christopher Nolan series.
Okay.
I ended up seeing Dark Knight first, then Dark Knight Rises, then Batman Begins.
I will say I saw all 3 of them in theaters, and I was wildly disappointed coming, as I'm sure I'm not alone, coming out of the theater from Batman Begins, being like, ugh.
So I saw...
Just looking forward to it actually sparking the rest of the trilogy.
Because at the time that Dark Knight was out, everybody said, Heath Ledger's great, he just died, his performance was wonderful, you have to see it, it'll totally change your outlook on the whole franchise. And so I gave it a shot. I'm like, wow, that actually was pretty interesting. You know, totally a different take.
Yes.
And it seemed real.
It was a lot scarier because it was very realistic.
It was something that Stan Lee had talked about in interviews for years, that he really wanted his universe. I know they're totally different, Marvel and DC, but he always wanted his universe to appear real, or seem like the things that he wrote about in, you know, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, all that could seem like they could actually happen in real life. Like the meeting of the different characters in certain books or movies.
Right.
Like cameos, so to speak.
Yeah.
But again, Dark Knight ends up being edgier, grittier,
Naturally.
more realistic.
Yes.
Okay? To where when you go back and you watch Batman Forever or Batman and Robin, you're like, wow, this is really kind of hokey. It's you hear all the sound effects, the zings, the zangs.
I get very angry when people
say that.
When people say that about specifically about Batman Forever. Okay? Now, to each their own. I don't give a shit if you don't like it. I don't give a shit if you don't think it's the best Batman.
But why does it make you angry?
It makes me angry because it's like no one gets it.
No one gets what?
No one gets it. It's a fucking comic book. Batman Forever. Okay, now
it's supposed to be whimsical.
You're talking about in the series. You've got the Burton movies, okay, that are dark, but they're Batman. They're like they're a new, darker Tim Burton spin on the idea of Batman. Cool. They're great. They're absolutely great. Then you get to Batman Forever, okay? And you have got camp. You have got Dayglow. You've got all of this nonsense.
Everything.
You've got it all in there and everything. And it is just, of course people think it's ridiculous because it is essentially a living comic book.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so fucking good.
Entertaining.
Yes. And I, like, everyone sort of poo-poos it because I just don't understand that. It's like they're dumping all over this movie that did exactly what it was supposed to do.
It's the best of everything.
Yeah.
Now, storyline, script, like we're not here to talk about the movie itself.
No.
Okay, that's not how I'm trying to illustrate my point.
No.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Those movies will always hold a place in my heart. And again, like I said, I was reluctant to be accepting of the Nolan series, but eventually I was, because I love Dark Knight and I love Dark Knight Rises. Cast,
which is correct.
Writing, performance,
yes.
Cinematography, all of it. Okay.
I try not to include Batman Begins in that series just because it really is just sort of a dumpster fire of a movie.
Again, well, it's establishing the series. Okay?
I guess. It does for the Dark Knight series what Phantom Menace did for Star Wars.
But the thing is that when you and I first started talking about this off camera, so to speak,
off tape,
yeah, we were not understanding each other. Because I get what you're trying to say, okay? But this goes beyond Batman. It goes beyond superhero movies, superhero characters.
Yeah.
Okay? Because for most of our lives, we were given camp, Dayglow, whatever other criteria you used, okay? And told to just, this is what we're putting out, enjoy it or not, okay? And after enough fan, I guess, interaction or input, we got our grittier Batman, Spider-Man, in 2017, the Power Rangers reboot, they actually said the word kill, like, we're gonna kill them and things like that. But over time, like 2010s and onward, all of our favorite franchises got grittier, darker, more realistic versions to appeal to the older audiences.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my whole argument, again, regardless of what it is, what also followed was a shift in culture and attitude, I would say. Okay? Because what I was saying to you off tape was the fact that if you look at the time between Batman 1989 and Batman and Robin 1997, okay? Those were still very comic book oriented.
Yes.
In their
because they were comic book movies.
Now, the Dark Knight series are comic book movies. They're based on comic book characters. They are
absolutely.
They are based on characters who have experienced loss, who have taken that loss and used that as a driving factor in who they've become and what they choose to do with their lives.
Right.
And the telling of these stories, Batman's that way, Spider-Man's that way, has inspired certain people to take certain actions that honestly I don't think occurred at all or would have occurred had we just been left with these more comic book relatable films, TV shows, media.
Okay, you just made that really complicated. Dumb it down.
The nuts and bolts of it is right after Dark Knight Rises release, or day of Dark Knight Rises being released, James Holmes shoots up the movie theater in Aurora, Colorado.
Yeah.
Okay? And subsequently, we got a lot of other mass murders, shootings, school shootings, this, that, and the other thing, post 2012.
Yeah.
Okay? What my question to you was, do you think that, do you think that had we continued to make these Burton and Schumacher-esque movies, this behavior would have happened at all?
Yeah.
You really think so?
I do not believe for one hot second that the movies have anything to do with it.
You don't? Why?
No, because I think that the reason for the success of movies and spin-offs and series and not sitcoms, because that would be wild. But think about the Bel Air reboot and the difference between that and the Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Mm-hmm.
You think about the things that have been so successful in the right?
Mm-hmm.
The darkness, the grittiness, the intensity of it and everything. These are successful because it has something to do with that shift in cultural climate. I do not believe that it is cause and effect.
Do you believe it's healthy, though?
I don't believe it's unhealthy.
Do you believe it's good for culture?
I don't believe that it's bad. I don't believe that, because these aspects of culture can be taken completely subjectively.
Fair point.
I love The Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love it. I remember seeing that in theaters, and there were moments where I knew it was a brilliant movie. The Dark Knight, not The Dark Knight Rises, which was also a brilliant movie.
Right, the second one.
But The Dark Knight, I remember realizing how genius it was, and especially the performance of Heath Ledger as the Joker in that movie, because laughing made me feel really self-conscious.
What do you mean?
It made me feel really uncomfortable to find certain parts of it funny.
It made you uncomfortable to find certain parts of that movie funny.
Yes, because the parts that I wanted to laugh at were the most sociopathic scenes and everything. And I'm just it's fucking brilliant, because my guts told me that's not funny, because the realism of the story.
Pardon me while I call Bellevue.
The realism of the story is what made it scary.
Mm-hmm.
It's what made it, it's what made it so uncomfortable and so thrilling at the same time. But the whole thing with the pencil.
Yeah.
I thought it was fucking hilarious.
It was.
But it was horrifying.
But here's the thing. I get what you're saying. And you and I are two people who are very easily able to separate reality from fiction.
As I believe the majority of people.
Majority, sure. Okay.
Yes. So no, to go back to your original question, I do not believe that this is a cause and effect thing. I don't believe that it's bad for culture, because there are plenty of people. I mean, it's think about kayfabe. People who can't separate out the fantasy from the reality and everything. And it's just like, you want to hate that person that you see as a villain on TV, when the fact of the matter is they're acting, but you want to hate them.
You saw the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, didn't you?
I did. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was another one that was very uncomfortable.
Well, that's just it. Do you think, because it feels like after a certain year, movie makers just went overboard with this theme. Take a already established property and turn it on its side, and make people view it and think about characters and scenarios in ways that we never thought before.
I think Joker was a really good take on it, though.
I'm not saying,
because it's not a fucking Batman movie.
I'm not saying the movies were bad. I'm not saying the writing was bad. I'm not saying the way they were made. What I'm saying is the subliminal message, okay? The underlying things that, your average moviegoer isn't going to think about. Eventually, what you see on screen is going to speak to certain people, again, the minority, in certain ways, and in some cases, yield what we've seen in the news.
Unfortunately.
You don't think one has anything to do with the other?
No. I don't believe for one hot second that a human person will be spurred to violence because of a movie. I believe that person will have had some violent tendencies before that movie was ever introduced.
Well, no one's saying that certain people haven't already had violent tendencies, but who's to say the movies aren't exacerbating them?
No one. I'm not suggesting that they couldn't, give someone an idea, but I don't think that in my good conscience that I would ever be able to blame a movie or a genre or a style or an industry for tragedy.
You don't think it's
for real life tragedy?
Just slightly irresponsible?
No. Because it's a fucking movie.
It is. But again, and I understand you can't. There's no way for you to know how people are going to perceive it or how they're going to react to it. But again, this isn't just a one and done. This is a trend. This is something that has continued from a certain year right up to this very moment. There has been a intentional. It feels like there has been a purposeful shift towards making content that accentuates the grim of reality.
I think that there is yes, and there is some for some reason there is a cultural demand for it.
Why though?
I don't know. That I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go off on a tangent for a minute.
Okay.
Because I think that this is relevant.
All right.
Okay? It's relevant though tangential. I have made several statements regarding this last 5 or 6 years of the latest serial killer movies.
Oh, jeez.
No. Hear me out. I've made the comment that these movies about Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, Ed Gein and everything, they're being cast with very attractive men. Now, what is that? I want to say it's relevant because this fascination that our culture has developed, a near obsessive fascination with these grisly, real-life stories, right? I mean, you look at how many shows, how many docuseries there are about the killer next door, American Monster, etc., etc. We have this near obsessive fascination with the grisly reality of the human mind
Mm-hmm.
and the things that people have been capable of doing. But now we're casting them in a very attractive light. We're making them sexy.
Well,
and that, I think, has something to do with it also. I think that's another branch on this same tree.
I think you're thinking too far into that, because
I think far into everything.
Well, because if you're going to make a movie that you want people to see and buy, you're going to cast the characters with attractive actors. Hence,
unnecessary,
but you're going to make a hell of a lot more money, and you're going to get a hell of a lot more buys if you put Evan Peters in as Jeffrey Dahmer. But
it was unnecessary. It's unnecessary to make them attractive, to appear attractive.
My ex was obsessed with Evan Peters, and by default, obsessed with Jeffrey Dahmer.
Which is weird. He's played so many psychopaths.
Evan Peters?
Yeah. He gained fame and fortune at playing every psychopath imaginable on American Horror Story.
I thought you were about to say he gained weight to play some fat
That I don't
killer.
think so. That I don't think so. But like, look at this new one coming out that Netflix has been teasing, for a year and a half now at least, with Charlie Hunnam playing Ed Gein. Look up a photo of Ed Gein. I can promise you he was not that good looking.
And again, if you put a B-list actor in that role, not as many people are going to want to see it. You have to entice the audience. It doesn't even have to be a serial killer related movie. You have to find some sort of enticement. If you take the most popular story of all time and put unknown actors in it, nobody's going to go see it. Nobody's going to want to go see it. That people want to see their favorite actors in popular roles.
So now we have, in my mind, another piece of the puzzle. So now not only is this industry promoting the darker side of everything, but they're making it so that people who wouldn't normally gravitate towards such a story are going to gravitate towards the story because of the actor.
Like, think about it. Think about 2008 Michael Cera. If they cast him to play Iron Man, would you go see it? Don't answer that because I know
That'd
you
be
would.
fucking hilarious. Are you fucking kidding me? I'd be online right now for tickets. That would be great.
And I rest my case.
But I see what you're saying with regards to the idea that, the question of should the industry and the creators be taking some responsibility?
See, this is precisely why when I go to you and I have tendencies to rewatch our favorite things just for comfort, okay? And I tend to rewatch cartoons from my childhood or shows that are just about whatever the story is. It doesn't have to be about murder or mystery or suspense or adventure. It just happens. It's whatever. Like, for example, I like rewatching The Last Samurai all the time. You don't ever want to watch it because you don't like war.
That's not true at all. I love that movie. But you're right. I don't like war movies.
Okay, I've never heard you say that, but anyway.
I do. I've watched it with you like 3 times.
But again, it's not the war that I'm interested in.
No,
it's
obviously.
The story, it's the culture, it's the history, it's the portrayal.
Yes.
Because a lot of people in that movie existed in real life. But again, I purposely choose to go back and rewatch the whimsical and the funny and the heartwarming from my past because I don't care to learn about Jeffrey Dahmer or Ed Gein, and I certainly don't care to watch gritty, call me naive, call me immature, call me whatever you want, but there is nothing pleasant for me about, like this trend of, or not even trend, but like, when all the mainstream horror movies had been coming out, the Saws and the Purges and the, whatever, I can't even remember half of them. They genuinely put me to sleep.
Yeah.
I've gone to the theater to see certain, contemporary horror movies, and there's nothing enticing to me about them. It's like, oh, just 90 minutes of watching people get killed.
I, today, just for the very first time, finally saw Late Night with the Devil. And aside from the first 15 minutes of the movie being the production screen credits. I'm not even kidding you. It's like this film, this production. There had to have been at least a dozen of them. And I was like, oh my God, is this the movie? The movie, though, was really appealing because of the way it was filmed. Certain aspects of this genre is very appealing to people because of the cinematography. It's not necessarily about the gore or the gruesomeness or the kills and everything like that. Some people are just interested in the genre because of the effects, because of the idea of the cinematography, even because of the writing. Because the fact of the matter is that every slasher movie is exactly the fucking same. Every single one. But every once in a while, you find one that does something a little different. For example, in the Saw series, he died. Spoilers.
Well, I mean, Saw in and of itself, the first one, was unique to its own story.
Yes, it was. But as you continue, the thing that got the audiences so captivated was what sort of horrific contraptions and traps are we going to see people be dispatched by this time around? I hate that. I'm here to say I hate that.
And yet you tried to make me watch the whole series.
Because if you watch the whole series, the story arc is absolute genius. It's genius. Now, if you can get past, because I watched a whole bunch of that through the cracks in my fingers, to be perfectly honest, because I don't like it. But if you get past that and you follow the characters and you connect them to the previous movies, it comes full circle and it is fucking brilliant. Do I think that someone who believes that Saw is a genius movie is bound to, like, torture small animals and or children? No, I don't think. But I wouldn't doubt that if you find someone doing that, that maybe they have an inclination towards movies like that.
I'm not here to speak in favor of censorship of any kind. Okay. Good. I know I was originally saying, do you think that this bears any responsibility? But I'm actually going to say something in favor of your side of the argument.
Oh, I love this. This is my favorite part. Go. Go.
Look at Jackass.
Yeah.
For years,
yeah.
Movies of that ilk by people like that were always touted as too influential, of a negative variety, okay? Mm-hmm. They're going to influence kids to do dumb things and get hurt and possibly kill themselves or whatever it is, and we can't have that. These people should be ashamed of themselves. They should be arrested. They should be barred, blah, blah, blah. We heard that forever.
Yes.
Okay? Just like everything else that, parents said in favor of their kids. They can't listen to this music. They can't watch this movie. It's a bad influence. I'm not saying that now as a parent. I'm allowing myself to understand that point of view a little bit more now because of the repercussions of what I've seen these movies do to the few bad apples that spoiled the bunch.
To the impressionable mind.
Right.
I think that, there's only so much protection that you can give a person without impinging on their free will.
So then what do you think is the solution outside of that realm then?
I don't think there necessarily is a solution, unfortunately.
So then we're just allowing ourselves to be open to, come whatever may, let the chips fall.
There is a rampant, again, you're talking about a mental health issue.
I'll tell you what, I went to go see Dark Knight Rises on opening day, not at midnight, but, 11 o'clock, or midnight the next night, because I wanted to see it, but...
Were you scared?
I was sitting in the very back of the theater with my hand at my hip the entire time, just in case.
I can absolutely tell you that when I saw it in theaters, I was very nervous. And
see, that is a undue consequence for the rest of us.
But you also, I mean, think about, I don't want to get too dark, but like,
that's what we're here for.
Think about what happened after Columbine.
I know exactly what happened after Columbine.
Everyone...
I wasn't allowed to wear my trench coat anymore.
Everyone picked out the kids in their school to be afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a consequence of ignorance. And that's just it, is that, you know, these people who perform these terrible, you know, deeds, and they commit these tragedies, are terrorists.
But you know what? Columbine happened in 1999, and the last Schumacher and Burton Batman movie was 1997. So I go back to my original statement. You have the time period of 1989 to 1997 with the campy Batman movies, and then you have 2005 to 2012 with the Nolan trilogy. You know, we don't have the facts handy, but again, I don't remember hearing about a lot of incidents, you know, akin to this in the 1989 to 1997 timeframe versus the 05 and beyond.
Now, you cannot.
I'm not blaming it on.
No. I'm not suggesting blame, but I'm saying that you cannot focus on this one aspect. You have to look at this is
totality.
This is a microcosm. You have to look at the macrocosm of this whole culture. You have to look at the difference in family dynamic. You have to look at the difference in the information being put out there. You have to look at the you know, the difference between the internet age and the pre-internet age. You're looking at this also. How old were you? You were a child during the first part, and an adult during the second part. You're going to be more readily accessing information, statistics. It's also going to be crammed into your face because of this
social media,
because of this internet age that we live in now and everything. And in addition to this cultural fascination that we have with this stuff. Because the fact of the matter is that any legacy news outlet, anyone, even local network news reporting on national tragedies like this, it's still a ratings grab. Regardless of the fact that it's a news story, it is still scripted, it is still timed, and it is still sandwiched between ad revenue. Okay? This is still a ratings grab. So, you know, every news outlet saying, well, we need to report the news. That's perfectly fine. Good on you. Pat yourself on the back, gold star. But the fact of the matter is that you can just as easily say, everyone else is reporting on this. We can get to it. But everyone's got to jump on it, and they've got to make it more sensational than the competitor, because it's all an industry. It's all an industry thing. And it's geared towards this new culture that we are being sort of pigeonholed into. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I don't really know where I'm going with that. I know that I feel a way about it, but I don't necessarily see it as anyone's responsibility to be accountable for these things, because I believe that every person should be accountable for themselves.
I don't remember if I started this off by saying somebody should be accountable, or if my intent was for the people who make these things to at least be a little bit more mindful of the impact of their artistry.
Off tape, you asked me if I felt that someone should be
held accountable,
held responsible.
Maybe I used those words, but thinking about it now, I would like it more if people would be mindful of the influence that they have. Not even just movie makers, but people in general. Like you have politicians, you have actors, you have people in social media and influencers and this, that, and the other thing. You know, a lot of them understand the responsibility, or not the responsibility, but the influence they carry.
Sure.
And a lot of them don't care what their influence does to anyone. It's just, oh, this is me, this is what I do, you know. You like me or you hate me, but deal with it.
Yeah.
So jumping back, Joker comes out 2019.
Joker with Joaquin Phoenix.
October 2019.
Yeah.
And then May 2020 and beyond, look what happens.
Yeah.
The whole country is in unrest.
Yeah.
Now, there's a whole bunch of things that go into that. COVID, George Floyd, what have you, okay? But you know what happens in that movie.
Yes.
And you know that, while most of the people in this country are, locked up in their homes with nothing to do except watch that and Tiger King, it's just like, I'm never going to financially recover from this. I can't speak for anybody else, but I'd like to think that if I were going to put some artistry out into the world, I would be mindful of what it could say to people about, not just about me, but, like anytime I put music out, I don't intentionally try to put music out that's going to make anyone or try to influence anyone to do anything of that sort, to be violent, to be angry, to be, I've always been a hopeless romantic at heart, and I've written a lot of love songs, a lot of sappy love songs.
Sappy love song.
Maybe I am just, I'm just I don't know.
Can I say something about Joker?
Yeah.
Okay. Great movie. That wasn't done. That wasn't the end of it.
I didn't say a goddamn thing.
That wasn't the end of it. Have you ever seen the movie King of Comedy?
No.
Okay. So I believe that anyone who has seen Joker from 2019 it came out?
Yes.
Yeah. Anyone who has seen that movie needs to go back and watch the movie King of Comedy starring Robert De Niro and Sandra Bernhard and the fact of them and Jerry Lewis, because the fact of the matter is that it is sort of in its own way a reboot of that. You will notice did you see it? You saw Joker.
I didn't see King of Comedy though.
But you know that Robert De Niro
is in it, yeah.
Is in it, and he plays the talk show host.
Right.
The same role that Jerry Lewis played in King of Comedy, with Robert De Niro playing the part that Joaquin Phoenix would be playing in Joker. So it is a recall. It is sort of a new take on the idea of obsessive fandom and things like that. And I think that it also maybe not directly, but indirectly says something about desire for those 15 minutes and the lengths that human beings will go to not only reach their goals, but also to stop people from reaching their goals. Because you look at this movie with this man who is obviously troubled and or, has some sort of mental issue and everything like that. And look at the way that he's treated and look at how it turns him around. But then look at how that gets him where he wants to be. So it's got more depth than I think people give it credit for, because they see Joker, Batman, and it's like, it's not a goddamn Batman movie.
Let me reiterate this again, because there's a disconnect between you and I.
Okay.
All right? The context of the movie is not why I wanted to have this discussion.
Right.
Again, no one in this room is arguing how good or bad any of these movies are.
No, right. But what I'm saying is that, well, you said we were throwing the rules out the window.
And you just did.
What I'm saying is that it's not a matter of whether or not the movie is good. It's whether or not the movie has the depth. And these movies do, in fact, have that depth that I believe that if you can dig into it, if you are willing to dig into it, you should be able to see more clearly that it's not the movies that are causing problems.
But you can only say that to the people who are who not responsible, but who are mature enough to separate one from the other, who are able to see the depth in a film and understand that it's a story. It is somebody's interpretation of one's own creativity. That's all well and good. What I'm trying to get at is the fact that there are some people out there who can't do that, who interpret these movies in such a way that it compels them to act out. And that's not fair to them. That's not fair to the rest of us. And again, I'm not saying you blame the filmmakers, but I'm saying it would be nice if this idea was held in mind when constructing whatever their artistry is. So we can avoid, or so we can at least prepare ourselves for the fact that, we may have to acknowledge this at some point. Mental health gets tossed around all day long, today, and nothing ever gets done about it.
That's the truth.
That is where the attention needs to be focused. Why has a movie not yet been, because people love going to the movies. People love taking their cues from television and movies, especially when you have sexy actors portraying these, troubled characters.
Real weird.
But here's the thing. When is a movie going to get made that puts a spotlight on, maybe that should be the next blockbuster. It should be a movie about a guy who can't separate fiction from reality, from seeing. Maybe that movie already exists. Who knows?
I'll bet it does. I'll bet we can find that.
And show in a positive light a way for that person to be helped.
Well,
so that way you don't have to be afraid to go out in public or go to the movies or worry about the person sitting next to you.
Well, that's just it, is that, we have grown to a point where fear-mongering is a business.
Mm-hmm.
It is. And, it's unfortunate to say, and I'm not changing my perspective, but it is unfortunate to say that quite possibly you're right. That, this industry, among so many others, are in fact capitalizing on the idea of, well, maybe if we make people afraid of what may or may not happen, maybe they'll pay more attention to our work.
And that's what Marilyn Manson talked about in Bowling for Columbine. Keep everyone afraid, and they'll consume.
It's true.
You're welcome, Nick. We
don't work for him. I have had to say that too many times.
I should have just said cut when you said you right.
You right. End of meeting. Oh.
Let's call it there.
This has been a good talk. This got deep. And I'm sure that it's not the end. And we're gonna watch. No, it's the end. We're gonna watch King of Comedy tonight.
You and I
right now.
Well, we just finished Suits, so you and I can. This is just another example of why we started this podcast in the first place. So
to prove how intellectual we are.
You get on my case for interrupting all the time.
I'm gonna get you a buzzer.
No.
We're gonna get buzzers for season 2, and every time the interruption is just gonna go.
Don't be a dick.
I'm not being a dick. I love you, Harvey.
Go get your pineapple.
I love you, Harvey.
Oh, but no, we can respectfully disagree.
Absolutely.
And still be okay with each other, and that's what it's all about.
Because we are intellectuals.
Are we?
Well, I am.
That's not what I heard.
I'm wildly intellectual, baby.
You're wild about something.
But this was a very good talk. This has been a very good year.
This has been a very good year.
This has been a very good year. I said it. But this has been a real good year, and that's it. That's a full lid on year 1 of that talking podcast.
Season 1.
Season 1. Stay tuned. Next week is season 2. We're not stopping.
We're not taking a week off.
Oh God, no.
What?
No.
See, we're workaholics. Somebody pick this up.
This is it, baby.
We will work as hard as we have to.
Thank you, out there in podcast land.
James sent me the finished draft of our theme song.
Yes.
Which his dad actually did.
Yes. Thank you,
Mr. Hilton.
Thank you to Hilton and Hilton Jr. for all of the hard work that they put into this. You have no idea how much we appreciate it.
He needs a fucking break.
Yeah, well, let's give him one.
Yeah.
we're very excited to share with you what they put together.
Dude has a regular job, is in 2 bands, does recording on the side, does photography on the side.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's still functioning.
It's the drive. Keeps him young.
Somebody needs to pay that man a hefty sum.
And speaking of which, you can go to our website and you can send us money. So that we... Wow, I'm never going to get through these credits.
You've been interrupting me all night.
Go ahead, what you
got? And this is the episode we said we're breaking the rules.
What the fuck do you have to say?
The back scratchers are on their way.
Oh, God. I caved.
You had no say in the
matter.
No,
but I did cave and I agreed to help.
You don't have to help.
Yes, I do.
I'll just reap all the benefits.
No. This was the deal that we made the other night. This was a bed deal. This was an in-bed deal.
this was a deathbed confession?
This was a deathbed confession deal that you showed me. I'm not proud, but I will be when we are able to collaborate on these nonsensical little fun things.
I will not put anything out without your approval. You are my partner in all of this. I don't know if you've mentioned, but already started working on the designs for the new logos. We have members only apparel now, which is great.
We're just walking QR codes at this point.
We are going to have $5 back scratchers that can fit in your pocket, have little clips made of little hands. I don't know where we're gonna sell them. Like can we sell stuff on Buzzsprout?
No.
Then we're gonna have to advertise through the socials, I guess.
Well, the bottom line is that we're gonna have stuff. We're at the very least we're gonna have these back scratchers. And we will you send us any money and we'll send you a back scratcher. Honestly, I think that's a fair deal.
Just any amount of money.
It's like, we're Radiohead.
Send us what you can.
It's like we're Radiohead. You pay what you can and we will send you a back scratcher. You're welcome. Excuse me.
Some of them may be signed.
Maybe.
Can you imagine that?
But yes, you can go to our website, thattalkingpodcast.buzzsprout.com. You can send us a text message and, join in the conversation. You can send us money and support the show. Please tell all your friends. We are so excited and we are so grateful for this last year. And so stoked to see everything coming out. Not only are we going to have merch and we're going to have, we're going to be making some public appearances out and about because we live in the real world.
You know what you guys can do that'll really help us? Just share the QR code. Share the QR code that people can open it with their phones and see, and they'll send them the link. I put the QR codes on all of our shirts, so if you see us out in the wild, you can just get right to the website. Just
take photos of us. We love that. Thank you for listening.
Thank you to Love Hard and to Coat of Arms.
Yes, and to Tax Collectors and Harlots.
April 26th, Dead Language Brewing.
Yeah, it's coming up.
It's going to be a fun one.
It is. And
Copper Wrestling.
Yeah, and we're...
Download us some more. Tell your friends to download us. Get us to more countries. We're in like 12 countries. We want 13. I'm not happy with 12. I need 13.
You need that 13th one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we in India?
We are in India, yes.
Shit. Are we in Indonesia?
No, but we're in Bangladesh.
I want to be in Indonesia.
Okay. Well, listen up, Indonesia. Andy wants you.
Yeah. We're already in Japan, though, right?
We are in Japan.
Okay,
yes.
That makes me happy. What about Italy? Are we in Italy?
Yes.
Oh. One of these days, we're going to have to come on with the Animaniacs.
All right. Yeah, well, it's fair use. But
sue me. They'll stick me in the Warner Brothers water tower.
This is it. You got any farewell words for season 1?
You're beautiful. Stop it.
You stop, little Bobby.
Stop following me in front. That's fair use.
It's going to be good, guys. Thank you for tuning in. And
thank you for staying with us.
Thank you. Yes. And I can't say thank you enough. That's why I've said it so many fucking times.
Video coming soon.
Yeah.
Live streams coming soon.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm not allowed to live stream.
You're not.
I'm not allowed to live stream. I'm still in Instagram jail.
You can just hold up a popsicle stick with a picture of your face on it in front of your real face.
Yeah. But that's a full lid. We'll see you in season 2. For the 3 of us at That Talking Podcast, I'm JJ Starr.
And I'm Downtown Andy.
And we'll talk to you later.